Hi there, this is Mark, and I am in Burlingame at this beautiful park. I was here last week and just realized I forgot to find out the name of this park again. Um, but I'm here after working with a couple of private clients in their home and came back to this spot. It's a beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon, and I'm going to do the reading from the Golden Present Daily Inspirational Readings by Sri Swami Satchidananda. And this is the reading for October 15th. And the topic is Your Not Knowing is in the Darkness. Where there is light, certainly there is darkness also. What is darkness? Absence of light. When you don't recognize the light, you see darkness. What is dark to you is bright to a cat or a tiger or a bat. It's all relative. And when you have one, you have the other also. You cannot only have one side of the coin. But the moment that you know that darkness is a part of the whole, it is not darkness anymore. The real darkness lies in your ignorance of what it is. Your not knowing is the darkness. The minute you know, you respect both sides, and it's no longer darkness. Don't we respect both day and night? We want both day and night. Night makes the day complete. Pleasure and pain are also two sides of the same coin. If you only want pleasure and hate pain, you become miserable. After one, the other is certain to follow. When it comes and you don't want it, you fight it. Instead, we must recognize that life is like that. If someone is nice to you, and you demand that he or she must always be nice to you, always respect you, then you are seeing only one side. If the other side comes, you deny the person, you hate the person. You should know that the other side will also be there. Love that person for the other side also. Then you are in a different light, where there is no darkness at all. That is what you call supreme light. That light is not like this light that casts a shadow. That light is not like this light that casts a shadow. That light is shadowless light. Once you go into that state, you still see the light and darkness, but you respect them both. Yeah, this is one of the more distinct teachings for me that help me find balance and understand how to navigate around in this world that is built on a lot of light and dark. And it seems that we get attached to one or the other at times, and it can be difficult to kind of step aside and be able just to acknowledge that these things are part of our existence, and that when things go what we think is called wrong, we wonder why in the world could this happen? Whether it's a natural disaster or one made by a person, we think to ourselves that something's going wrong because we are attached to a story that everything is supposed to go in our mind, in our mind's right way. And in that way, I think it's more of that sense that there is a light and a darkness. One is casting that light is that it's actually casting a shadow that helps basically describe what this whole material world is all about. And what I like what he's talking about here in that example of pleasure and pain being two sides of the same coin, ultimately one will always lead to the other. And it just seems to be the law of nature that there's that sense of movement between the two in a constant way, and how long it stays on the pain side is unknown, but then the pleasure side comes. How long it will stay on the pleasure side is unknown. It may swing again. So rather than getting so thrown like a soap opera, there's all this drama, and getting upset and frustrated or attached to joy and happiness, we start to recognize that there is that other option, and it's being able to witness that these are part of life. They will always be part of life. So either I can stay just stuck in this on this roller coaster ride and always have those emotions that go with that. Or I can begin to see that there is a way to practice looking at life differently, where I'm not attached to one way or another. I'm not attached to trying to make life do something that I wanted to do for my personal gain, but rather to be open to what is happening and respect it. Again, this is super challenging, but I found that having some kind of a practice where I can go inward into that space of meditation and quiet, that I can let go of some of that limited thinking about what I think is supposed to happen or how I think life is supposed to go. And when I start to call things failures or mistakes or wrongdoings, that I start to see this is just life kind of operating in its own accord. Now, do I have some say or some control? I believe that there is some part of this. We can strengthen our character and our way of being in the world, and that's through these something that helps lift your spirits. And for me, it's a spiritual practice with yoga, something that helps to bring alignment, that has been recognized through these scriptures as being ways towards creating a peaceful way of seeing the world. Now, having a peaceful view of the world doesn't mean that we're never activating and trying to help create change. It means we're doing it with more clarity, with more of a sense of being grounded in what is true, rather than being constantly persuaded by all the things that could distract us from really understanding what is our deepest and most profound sense of truth. Your not knowing is the darkness. So when we don't allow ourselves to know and have this sort of like stepping back, you're getting a bigger picture. If you're like in the middle of something, it's hard to really get the whole perspective. But when you can step out, you can step back, you get a bigger understanding, a fuller understanding of all that's happening, and that's the practice. And I think we just go back and forth. Sometimes we get enmeshed. Sometimes we're right in the middle of this stuff. We can't help it. People that are dealing with some crises, it can be hard in the middle of the crises to know what to do. It's not impossible, but it can be most difficult at that time, which is why the more we can build this daily practice that will help us be better equipped, we're more able to come back to that place of understanding and perspective more quickly. Otherwise, it just takes more time. They always say time heals, and it certainly does, but I think it can happen in a little faster, more efficient way when our perspective is changed. Yeah, so what can you do? If you have interest in it, seek out something that helps lift your spirits, whether it's making art, whether it's being of service in your community, helping other people, or it's a spiritual practice, whatever that might be. All right, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.